this series, I'm going to be talking about many things around grief. But the whole purpose is to let you know that grief and recovery from grief is a journey to feel deeply and heal fully. Welcome back. In the last episode, we were talking about the stages of grief and how you have the opportunity to grieve individually and uniquely. In this episode, we're going to be exploring how to talk about your loss and share your feelings with others. You know, one of the things that happens a lot is that people will go back to work. And in this country, we only give you 3 days to grieve, which is ridiculous, right? Other countries give you months or whatever, but we're a work country, so you have 3 days and then you have to go back to work. So you might be kind of a mess if you go back to work. And then you have your coworkers and friends coming to you, they say, how are you doing? And you don't want to say, I'm a wreck. I can't even concentrate. And then, the waterworks happen and you're like, what do you do? And so how do you talk to people? How do you go into a situation like that to where you want to talk, but this isn't the right place? And I want you to be honest. I would like for you to look them in the eye and say, I'm really having a hard time. It's hard to concentrate. It's difficult. It really is difficult. And if you want, let's have lunch. And I'd love to just tell you how I'm feeling. Would that be okay? And then use that time and that opportunity. If they're willing to listen, you need someone to listen to you. So don't fake it. Be real, be honest, and take the time you need to explain what you want from someone else. Another thing that's really important, both for you and for others, is to use the D word. Now, I know you're wondering, well, what the heck is the D word? The D word are things like death and dead and died. That way of talking helps to build within you exactly what happened. That relationship has changed. It is no longer what it was. It will never be what it was. And it is completed and over. And although that's hard for me to say to you because I can imagine the thoughts you're having, I want you to know that they're very important to your recovery. So I want to encourage you when talking to others to use the D word. One other thing that happens often for people is that they feign recovery. Because everybody wants you to be well. They want you to be healthy. They want you to feel better. They even want a part in helping you feel better. But you may notice that it's not helping. And so what do you say when people say, how are you doing? You use the ultimate phrase that everyone uses in America, I'm fine. On the other hand, you may actually be really focused at work and be okay and say, hey, I have my moments, but I'm focused and I'm doing well at the moment. So once again, I invite you to be totally honest about your feelings, to be totally honest about what you need, to tell people what your relationship with that loved one was like, and to do it often. You may be asking, so Brent, I really want to talk about this stuff, but other people don't, or they don't know how. So I want to give you permission to tell them what to do. Tell them that you need to talk about your feelings and your experience. Tell them and better yet, instruct them on sitting close, but not touching. Tell them you want their full attention, absolutely, totally present with you in that room and nothing else. Tell them you don't want them to say anything or touch you or even offer you tissues. You just want them near, present, and listening to everything you have to say. If at the end they would like to hug you or offer you tissues, then let them know that's okay to do, or they should ask. But this way, for people who don't really understand what to do to help another person, you've given them very clear instructions. Now, I want you to know something. Not everybody's going to be able to do that. Maybe they have their own grief that they have not recovered from, and it's just too much for them. So don't take it personally if they say, I don't think I can do this. Respect that. That's their place right now. And choose someone else who can. And it always starts with simply asking. Just ask them. I'd like to talk about my feelings and share them with you and some of the experiences I've been going through. Would that be okay? And then give them the instructions I talked about. You may be thinking, Brent, I don't even know if I can open my mouth and say the words I need to say. It's just too overwhelming. As soon as I even start to think about it, the emotions flood and the waterworks happen and I can't even get words out. That is perfectly okay. I want to give you lots of time to let that flood subside and then talk. Just start talking. Start with an experience that you remember from your relationship, or what you've been going through recently, or just about the feelings in general. But just begin. If even that is overwhelming for you, then maybe you could write it down in a journal and share it later. And even if that is too much, then please be kind and gentle to yourself with lots of grace. And it's okay to wait. My hope is that you have people around you, relatives who you trust, who are maybe even going through the same thing that you're going through. And what a wonderful thing that would be to share those feelings together. So there may be friends who you have grown up with, or really close relationships that you've developed over the years, and they are waiting to be there for you. Choose them carefully, but choose them based on your relationship and what you know about them and their ability to sit with strong feelings if you've experienced that with them. But my encouragement to you is take it at your pace, but not to neglect the talking. Find a way to share those feelings with somebody. As we've seen, talking about our loss can be very painful and powerful. In the next episode, we're going to look at why we're ill prepared for loss. In other words, why it's so difficult. I look forward to you joining us on our next grief recovery episode as we journey to feel deeply and heal fully.